Yeah, 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 yeah. I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I can think of. God, till the day I keep the ink up. In my priority.
What's up, YouTube? Today, we'll be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
He hacked and looked at all of the code of ChatGPT and figured out that ChatGPT isn't a computer-generated system.
What is it?
It's actually someone's soul. Yo, that's
What do you mean that's someone's
Check this
soul?
out. So they have the technology to take people's souls and consciousness and put it into technology. Now, this is where it's right? If there's a scientist that knows and he's like a great inventor,
Yeah.
you would want to hold on to him as long as you can so that you can reap the benefits of later. Just like in Captain America, there was a scientist that created the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
They kept his consciousness within the computer, so he lives forever through a computer. Now, theory is ChatGPT is exactly that. It may not be just one soul that's in it, but countless souls, and that keeps getting added to.
I'm a builder, and whenever I talk about these Tartarian buildings, my wife has to remind me to bring up the logistics. Talk about just how impossible it is to move stones of these size, especially without power tools. With little more than horse and buggy technology, they constructed all this, we're told. And yet, as a builder, I just have to call bullshit. All my fellow builders who have built anything also call bullshit. This is our repertoire. This is what we have to work with. Awesome diamond tip tools with infinite power. We can go to Home Depot and buy custom cut lumber of whatever we want. And we don't do much better than this. Like, sorry guys, this would pass inspection in most counties. And it really doesn't make sense that our buildings are so shitty when the old ones were so magnificent. You can say craftsmanship and pride and hard work, but I don't think so. This is a stone fucking palace, guys. And I'm sorry, this is not good enough proof that you built it. What is that motherfucker doing right there? No way we caught this fella working on this building. It's so dumb. Rather, I think that little fella built it as much as this artist built this one right here. This is all fake history. And I think the biggest truth they're trying to hide from us is that we're post-apocalyptic. We were more advanced once upon a time, and this is not, in fact, the high watermark. We are squatting in structures we did not build. Obviously, none of our structures look like this anymore. They look like dog shit. And it's no offense, again, as a builder, I'm not trying to shit on anyone. But just case in point, here is the Elks Temple in Tacoma, Washington. It has the same hanging fruit basket motif as the Capitol building. This is just where the men of Tacoma get together and talk about their civil duties, right? A wealthy boys club of all the best men in town, and this is what they built. But this is what they built in Olympia. They weren't able to found one here. They had to build it themselves, and it's an absolute testament to the mediocrity of our current age. What's the good explanation for the fall off in quality? Here's a Mason temple, magnificent, Romanesque to the nine. Again, a shitty little sign outside, but look at the fucking size of this thing. And then juxtaposed to this modern Mason Lodge that went up in the 80s, right? The other one went up in the 20s. This one went up in the 80s. That's only 60 years, guys. And that timeline should terrify everyone. This is the brewery. It shut down in the 20s. It's been here, abandoned ever since. God, I want to move in there yesterday. Renovate it, make it a hotel, make it something sick. But no, the city of Olympia or somebody owns it. They founded it. So you realize we're hemmed in by paper tigers. You can come out of the bushes at any moment and throw you in prison for something you definitely did. But like, we're all just doing what they are doing. We've founded these buildings the same as them. And so I take great comfort in how recent all the bullshit is. I know that we're on top of centuries of bullshit, but all of these narratives aren't actually that old. 1907 is what I keep going back to. That's like my rock. Most of the psyops come from 1907. Of course, they are piggybacked by much older psyops, but I think the past is supposed to be exhausting. It's supposed to be not remembered well and like kind of like, man, I'm really glad we're done with the past and we can move on to the future. But I'm the complete opposite. I want to know what has happened here. Who controls the present now controls the past, and who controls the past controls the future. They absolutely have a stranglehold on all of our past lives. That's some bullshit, and I think it's time for it to be done. The lies are comical, and it still baffles me they have never been scrutinized before. But as they say, no time like the present. What a gift to be alive today.
But when you see
Wow. Really hits home when you see the same organization building something 40, 60 years apart and you see the drop off in quality. Like he said, it's very scary because, we have this mental thing where we're like, oh, we used to build like that a very long time ago and now we build different. But now we're talking about 50 years. We're talking about the type of 1 or 2 generations. And you go from building a magnificent stone palace, like you were saying, to, a square building that basically looks cheap, So do you guys think that there's an evolution in construction, or do you guys think there's a devolution in construction? Do you think we're doing better or less good when you compare structures from before and structures from now? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
This stuff in America, it's really weird. All the state capitol buildings that don't really match up. Like, why did they build something that was straight out of ancient Rome in like Iowa? Like in Nebraska.
2,500 people live in a town somewhere, and they build a post office that has 700 rooms and is like an ancient castle. It's the same like with the Mormon temple, where they said they went out to Utah, with horse and buggy and nobody else out there, and they supposedly built this wonder of the world castle with no rails and no dump trucks and no cranes, and it goes down 40 to 60 feet underground with more building. And
even think about like the 1 year timelines. A lot of these buildings are 1 year wonders, where they created this very elaborate stone building in 1 year. But then you think about some of these places that have 1 year timelines, and then they work in like
permafrost,
Albany, Syracuse, New York, these crazy places like that. Explain to me how much work they're getting done in the dead of winter, when the roads would have been horrible. Then you add snow on it, and then the logistics make no sense. Even think, like I said, go back to World War II. We're told that the Germans were not necessarily defeated by the Russian army. They were defeated by the Russian winter. Yeah. Because even with the high-tech German stuff, they couldn't even move the equipment during a harsh Russian winter. Mm-hmm. So that is like the highest tech stuff in the 40s. And then you're talking about these things were built with horses and buggies in the 1840s.
So they tell us to recycle to save the planet, right? Reduce waste, protect resources, cut pollution, and all that type of stuff. But what they don't tell you is what they actually transmute this plastic into, which is synthetic fibers that end up polyester, nylon, acrylic, which end up in our clothes, in our babies' clothes, right? And then these things end up in our skin, because when we wash it and all this type of stuff, it turns into microplastics, and microplastics has the ability to enter our skin, because our skin is the biggest organ. And now we have this stuff inside of our lungs, our kidneys, our bloodstream. Look at this, y'all. All of this stuff is going inside of our body. So all of these so-called new hip clothes that men and women are wearing alike, the Lululemons and these workout gears, all of this is created from synthetic fibers that contain microplastics now that you are absorbing. And this thing is hurting you on an energetic level, because this makes your biofield weaker. This is not about saving the planet at all. This is about keeping humanity looping through an artificial ecosystem. We are divine beings. Divine beings need to wear cotton, hemp, linen, bamboo, and all these things that actually help strengthen your bio. That's why they make these new clothes look appealing to the other sex, because they want you to buy this, but it's hurting you on an energetic level. Have you guys seen this 60-minute interview with financial journalist Andrew Sorkin? These two people go into detail about how we're getting ready to see a crash very soon, but they don't explain when or how fast it's going to happen. But I want you to pay attention to the details, y'all. Pay attention. Check this out.
Do you think that we will have a crash or not?
The answer is we will have a crash. I just can't tell you when, and I can't tell you how deep. But I can assure you, unfortunately, I wish I wasn't saying this, we will have a crash.
I know you guys see it. And I know there's no way in hell that lady that's sitting right across from him did not see it. And then she proceeds with the interview. She proceeds to ask him that question. And there was a little lag. Maybe she was trying to tell him about it, but why would they continue the interview? Do y'all see that? And then even her, she doesn't look normal either. Is it me, or does this lady look like some type of gray? Do you guys see the resemblance over here? Look at this, y'all. And they told us, right, these gray beings were created by the reptilian beings as stewards. Like, they're the ones that go and do the dirty work for the reptilians.
Science fiction! This is what they are! Shut up! We were just sent here from the wrong planet. We just arrived on orders. You're human. Forget this masquerade. We are not.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. You have no idea who these people are. Your neighbors, your friends, you have no idea. They're not human. They just told y'all. But the jig is up, man. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
These are the
I know it's a it's a popular conspiracy to talk about the reptilians. I feel like the idea of the reptilians, I don't think it's a physical thing. I think it's an archetype, because the stem of our brain, the bottom of our brain, is called the reptilian brain. So theoretically, to operate on reptilian principles would be to operate on lower conscious levels, if that makes sense. So I have a feeling like we're looking to confirm this physical attribute of being, a reptilian. But I think it's more of a metaphor. It's more of the fact of being like, what is a reptile? A reptile is cold-blooded, A reptile is like an animal, instinctual. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Do you guys believe in reptilians? Do you guys have any proof that you think would sway me to your side? Or do you believe, like me, that it might be more of a metaphysical or a metaphorical thing? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
facts. We are here at Chick-fil-A. And people want to know, does Chick-fil-A have the warning signs? They sure do, right there. We go. Warning, certain foods that are sold or served here can expose you to chemicals including acrylamide and many other fried baked foods, mercury in the fish, which is known to the state of California to cause effects and other reproductive harm. Now, the acrylamide ain't bad. It's all the other chemicals they're not telling you about. Yep, Chick-fil-A finally got their ass. Because a lot of these stores, they don't have the warning sign, or they might have it in the drive-thru. But this is one of the first ones I done seen right there on the door. And these are the facts. Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Project Iceworm.
Project Iceworm.
Cold War era. U.S. and Russia did a lot of weird things during the Cold War era. There's an ice sheet over Greenland, and it's taller than any building in New York City. Here comes the United States of America. They made a deal with Greenland, like, hey, can we just basically occupy this couple tens of thousands of miles in the northern part of Greenland? And they're like, yeah, sure. They had this genius idea. We're just going to bore giant tunnels into the ice, put buildings inside of there. Their goal was to set up 600 nuclear missiles underground in the ice in Greenland. What they did not account for is that this ice sheet over Greenland constantly moves. They ended up pulling out and just abandoning the whole site. During this stay, they did drill into the ice, and they hit the ancient floor of Greenland.
Wow.
And they collected soil samples, and they brought it up, and they just forgot about it for years. And then in 2019, somebody's like, what are those jars? Oh, they're from the 60s when we went to Greenland and found ancient Earth? Let's study it. The conclusion that they found was that this ice sheet over Greenland is not millions of years old, much younger than that, and it's actually melting at a rapid pace. At Project Iceworm, they had dumped tons and tons of nuclear waste into the ice, thinking that it would be there for millions of years. And now they're saying this nuclear waste will be in our ocean in 70 to 100 years.
Somebody go clean it up right now.
They've tried. Listen, if there's a hole for a tunnel, we just make a big vacuum at the top that covers and suctions to the top. Suck it all up!
And shoot it into space.
Yes!
Walk through the oldest part of any city. You'll notice the clues if you know where to look. Cathedrals with spires so tall and carvings so detailed they seem impossible without modern tools. Star-shaped fortresses, perfectly symmetrical, as if designed from the sky itself. Domes and copper towers glinting like antennas, as if built to catch signals from the heavens. And yet, according to history, these were made by men with hand tools, wooden scaffolds, and horse carts. Somehow, that was enough to carve massive granite columns, to lift seamless stone arches, to forge metalwork that even our factories today struggle to copy. Look closer, and the mystery deepens. Stone scorched, warped, melted, as if kissed by fire from the sky. Entrances half buried, windows below ground, entire floors hidden beneath our feet. Why build such beauty if no one was meant to see it? Some researchers suggest these weren't built in the 1800s at all. They were uncovered, excavated, the remains of a world lost to disaster, then repainted with a new backstory. High above the plains of Lycia, cliffs bear facades carved like temples. Pillars, pediments, doorways, all hewn into sheer rock. These are the tombs of Myra. That's the story, at least. But think, to carve these monuments into vertical cliffs would demand scaffolding, precision, labor. For what? For corpses? For facades no living community could even use? Compare Petra in Jordan or Lalibela in Ethiopia. Grand facades explained away as tombs or churches, yet suspiciously mask-like. Were these truly built as tombs? Or did someone later repurpose older, greater works and call them graves? Either the ancients were skyscraper architects for the dead, or the story we've been fed is incomplete. The buildings that shouldn't be here, the tunnels that weren't supposed to exist, the architects who might never have lived. Springfield, Illinois, a city most people drive through without looking twice. But if you stop, if you really look, you'll notice something that doesn't make sense. Right in the heart of the city stands the Illinois State Capitol building, a massive dome of cast iron and limestone, 361 feet tall, taller than the Statue of Liberty, weighing more than 8 million pounds. They tell us it was built between 1868 and 1888 by hand, with no cranes, no electricity, just ropes, horses, and a lot of determination. But there's a problem. There are no verified construction photos. None. You can find portraits of the politicians and photos of men posing after it's done, but not one image showing the dome being assembled. The archives talk about budget delays and winter setbacks, but somehow every column aligns perfectly. Every arch mirrors the next with millimeter precision. Each limestone block was quarried in Joliet, carried nearly 100 miles by rail before rail cranes even existed. And yet, no record of how they lifted the 80-ton dome sections. Even the cost doesn't fit the era. $4.5 million in 1880s money. That's roughly $150 million today, during a time when a mason earned $1.50 a day. So you tell me, did a handful of men in the 1870s really build something that our modern engineers still call impossible without steel? Or did they inherit it? A structure from an older world, dressed up with a new story, a new flag, a new date carved on the cornerstone. They say it was built, but it looks more like it was found.
Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself.
And there's been a few videos like this in this compilation that show us the beautiful structures that we've built, and to be honest, it makes me a bit emotional to see how beautiful the world is and how capable man is. Throughout generations and generations, we have left things of beauty. Like all those temples that are carved into the rock, carved into the mountain, all those spires, all those... I find it so impressive. Sometimes I feel like they're trying to tell us that we live in a gray world where everyone's bad and, you know, lack and fear but man, this world is beautiful. This world is abundance. The things that man is capable to achieve has no limits. I swear to you, it makes me emotional to see the beauty that man can attain. Man, I just wish we could let go of all this evolution talk and go back to what we were. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but Man, that's how I'm feeling right now. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let's keep on rocking. Let's go.
God stands for Generator, Operator, Destroyer, the mind, soul, and body. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. The generator is the mind, the beginning of all creation. The operator is the soul, what you feel. Because what you feel then takes action with the physical body, the destroyer. The Father, the beginning, the Holy Spirit, the feminine emotion. The Father, the mind, the emotion, the spirit, give birth to a son, physical action. You take action on what you care about. If you lose care about watching this video, you will continue to scroll. The body acts out the heart. The body follows the heart. These are the three forces that generate your experience in your reality. All creation goes through this threefold process. These are the three forces, thought, emotion, action, we must gain full control over to generate a good experience. Aligning our thoughts and action with the Holy Spirit, which is a purified emotion, because emotions are what guide us. Our emotions tell us what is right and the wrong.
Seattle, Chicago, Oshkosh, Springfield. Everywhere you dig, you find the same thing, a city under the city. In Seattle, the underground tour shows old sidewalks 20 feet below today's street level, buried after the 1889 Great Fire. In Chicago, entire blocks were lifted 4 to 14 feet between 1856 and 1875 to install sewers, and now you can still see doors half buried in brick. In Oshkosh, Wisconsin, old walls were found under Main Street in 1931, stone foundations for unknown buildings. And here, in Springfield, walk around the Capitol Avenue area, and you'll see window arches below the current sidewalk line. Whole floors buried under new pavement. They say it's urban development, but the more you study the pattern, the clearer it gets. We're not building new cities, we're reclaiming old ones. Each foundation is just the roof of what came before. History isn't linear, it's layered, like sediment, like memory. Maybe we didn't start from nothing. Maybe we started from someone else's ruin. Quiet music builds, ambient piano. They tell us we're living in the modern age, but maybe we're just walking on rooftops of a forgotten world, pretending we built it.
Engineered human meat. That's right, a protein made from human cells that promises to be cheaper and tastier than any of its competitors. I'm Greg Wallace, and I'm off to visit Good Harvest, where a whopping 6 tons of human meat is engineered every day. That is stunning. With the promise of cheap meat for all, it may well be the meaty miracle we need to ease the squeeze of the cost of living.
Anyone for human meat? I'm Michelle Ackley, and while Greg comes face to face with the production line, I'll be conducting a taste test with some very picky palates.
It's really, tender. For the first time, we're going to find out where it comes from, how it's made, whoa, and what it tastes like.
Did you know Africa is actually way bigger than the world makes it look? The maps we usually see are based on something called the Mercator projection, a method that tries to flatten the round Earth into a 2D surface, and in doing so it totally distorts the actual size of continents. For example, Greenland and Africa look similar in size on most maps, but in reality, Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland. In fact, Greenland is even smaller than just one African country, DR Congo. Now let's talk about Russia. On maps, it looks massive, almost larger than Africa. But here's the truth. You could fit Russia inside Africa, twice. And that's not all. The US, China, India, Japan, and all of Europe, they can all fit inside Africa at the same time.
If you see this camera in your town, it's already over. Across the UK and the US have started rolling out these AI facial recognition cameras, and yeah, it's exactly what it sounds. These things are disguised as normal CCTV cameras, but they scan every single face that goes past them. What this then does is pick up the person who's walked past it and then automatically using AI scan it against a criminal database to see if you're wanted or you've done anything wrong. There is going to be someone watching and then proceeding further depending on who you are. Now, I'm not really sure how far this goes, like if I didn't pay a speeding ticket, are the police then going to come and jump on me? Or is it just for like actual criminals? Because I guess that's kind of smart. It is extremely clever though. They are scanning the photos of your face against a criminal database, your social media profiles, like the whole of the internet. It's insane. Some experts have warned that the actual cameras store your data, tracking everything such as where you go to, who you're then meeting, how long you're there for. Also, unfortunately, these cameras aren't government owned. They're buying them from third-party data companies. So instead of the old question, are you being watched? It's now, how often are you being watched?
And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or you're posted up after midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, your curiosity. I remember, this isn't about truth or fiction. This is about perspective. If this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell if you're riding the wave, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay weird, stay critical. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace!
Now it's time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up. Making a change from living this strange. Living this strange.